In 1 Samuel chapter 10, verses 20 through 22, we read, "When Samuel had all Israel come forward by tribes, the tribe of Benjamin was taken by lot. Then he brought forward the tribe of Benjamin, clan by clan, and Matri's clan was taken. Finally, Saul, the son of Kish, was taken. But when they looked for him, he was not to be found. So they inquired further of the Lord, 'Has the man come here yet?' And the Lord said, 'Yes, he has hidden himself among the supplies.'" So let me get this straight. The appointed king of Israel is found hiding in the closet. Today's question from the word for you today is, what are you hiding behind? When the prophet Samuel went to present Israel's first king to the people, Saul was discovered hiding. The New Living Translation says, "among the baggage," while the NIV says, "among the supplies." The Hebrew word for baggage symbolizes the self-imposed limitations that hinder us from tackling the job that God has appointed us to do. Things like feelings of inadequacy. Saul's first response when he learned that he had been chosen as king is found in 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 21. Saul answered, "But am I not a Benjamite from the smallest tribe of Israel? And is not my clan the least of all the clans in the tribe of Benjamin? Why do you say such a thing to me?" You see, when we fail to figure God into the equation, we will always feel less than capable of doing what God calls us to do. Instead of focusing on our own weaknesses and our liabilities and our inabilities, concentrate instead on what Paul talks about in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 19. God's incomparably great power for those of us who believe. Next, there is the fear of what others might think. Proverbs 29, verse 25 says, "Fear of man will prove to be a snare, a dangerous trap." But it goes on to say, "But whoever trusts the Lord," or who trusts in the Lord, "is kept safe." Saul fell into that snare, that trap, head first, when Samuel confronted him for failing to obliterate the Amalekites. He replied in 1 Samuel 15, verse 24, "I have sinned. I violated the Lord's command and your instructions. I was afraid of the men, so I gave in to them." Saul was more concerned with the opinions of others than he was with what God had to say. And that's never a good thing. Paul reminds and assures us in Hebrews chapter 13, verses 5 and 6, that God has said, "Never will I leave you. Never will I forsake you." So we say with confidence, "The Lord is my helper. I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me?" Once we take hold of that truth and act on it, we will find that there's nothing to be afraid of. And finally, we have the issue of being overly pragmatic. James chapter 1, verses 5 through 8 tells us, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Such a person is double-minded and unstable in all they do." When we're double-minded, we are unstable. Saul fit that bill to a T. When he didn't hear from God, he took matters into his own hands, and he consulted a psychic. And after promising not to harm David, he repeatedly hunted him down. Adaptability is commendable, but what God requires is consistency and commitment to his word and to his plan. You know, we all have baggage in our lives. But the question is, will we hide in it, or will we let God help us rise above it? I hope you'll rise above it today. Don't forget to set your clocks back an hour on Saturday night and we will see you in worship this Sunday at 9 or 11 a.m. This Sunday is a communion Sunday at the Village Church, and if you can't join us in person, we invite you to join us online on either Facebook or YouTube at the Village Church at World Golf Village. We hope you'll join us for that. Also, don't forget to pick up your Operation Christmas Child shoeboxes this Sunday. They're also available in the church office if you need one. Shoebox Dedication Sunday will take place on Sunday, November the 20th. And our shoebox packing party, which is always such a fun event, will take place next Saturday, November the 12th at 10 a.m. I hope you'll join us for that because it's going to be a great morning. We love you, church. Have a great weekend. And don't hide in the baggage. We love you.